A man on the subway uttered these words. You can fight Godzilla, but you can't fight God. I thought what he said was funny at first, but I never thought that these words would linger on, because it just about summed up my summer in New York City.
Power on. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is connected.
I sit here bored thinking a lot about the past summer, now that I'm back in Canada. I was in New York for an internship. I used to live in Times Square. It wasn't my first choice. I got a good deal. If I had it my way, I would have lived in the East Village, probably. It's super jarring watching a TikTok or some vlog or a picture of some famous dude basically right outside your house. I remember watching a TikTok about a cringe faux pas that we all witnessed, and I thought about the time when I witnessed basically what the TikTok was talking about during my summer, and then the TikTok zoomed out, and it was almost at the exact same spot it took place. The summer was strangely good, but it was a tumultuous time. I worked hard at my job. I took it very seriously. Life outside that was kind of a blur. I really like the noise and the bustle of the city. It makes me think less. I remember living in Washington last summer. I would go on walks a lot to think. I think too much sometimes. I didn't need to go on those walks for most of the summer. It's a double-edged sword though. New York is a meat grinder. If you want to find space to think in solitude, it's difficult to do so. Manhattan is trippy. The tall buildings engulf your periphery, and the action of the streets shrouds your immediate attention. The world feels tiny in this moment. I spent nearly my entire summer there. At the end, I started going to other parts of New York City. Watching the scenery expand and the world become endless as the subway goes above ground in Queens was disorienting. When I would go to bed in New York, I would go to bed tired. Now I'm back home in Canada. I tend to feel restless. Back in Canada, things move a lot slower. Things close sooner. Driving somewhere takes a lot more time than it did on foot back in New York. But life is easier. School's been light, and I guess I can relax. So I think back to what the man said on the subway. Who is Godzilla? Why am I supposed to fight that instead of God? I think Godzilla represents what you can change, and God is the force of nature that you cannot change. So I went above and beyond my internship. I worked hard. That was my Godzilla to fight for the summer. Looking back, it's hard to explain why I look back at this summer so fondly. I think in the moment, I juggled a lot in this new environment, yet I had a ton to take out of it. I'm not a religious person, but I did become more comfortable leaving aspects of outcomes out to fate. And I saw so many cool things, met a ton of people, and life was never dull. I actually love New York. It's become my favorite city in the world. Now back in Canada, there isn't really a Godzilla to fight at the moment. I'm just waiting. There isn't really anything to be stressed by. It's a weird transitional period between utter inundation and boredom. But boredom has its special place in the world. When you're bored, the mind tends to jump around rather than fixate. Maybe there's a new adventure waiting ahead, and the initiative to do so is sparked by the need to do something else. We will see what that is. But, for now, I want to be back in New York City fighting reptiles again.